foods and products. Now, we have allowed ourselves to consume a lot of products, and these products are bringing us a lot of problems. Look at it this way. You consume products for a long period of time, and when I say products, I basically mean poisons. I mean things that are coming from the industries. They are very limited. I think 1% of foods coming from an industry, but 99% of things coming from an industry, they are not edible. They are products. So you consume these products from the industries all your life, maybe 6-7 years down the line. Now you start experiencing the symptoms of these products. Once you start experiencing the symptoms, the food industry together with the pharmaceutical companies are very, very clear. And the pharmaceutical companies come in to actually help you, okay? They come in to help you to unlearn or to actually treat the symptoms that have been caused by the food industries. So the pharmaceutical company comes in to clear the name of the food industry. And I mentioned 4 things that you should be very careful about. 1, I told you, the food industry. 2, the agriculture, and we'll talk about that in one live. 3, we talked about the media. And of course, 4, the pharmaceutical companies or the big pharma that comes in to now clear the mess that have been caused by the food industries. So as you sit there and you enjoy foods that are coming from the industry, they're not foods, they're just products. They have no nutrition. As you sit there and enjoy products that are coming from the agriculture, the modern agricultural practices, GMOs, and GMOs have never been a problem as such. However, what is done to those GMO seeds and those GMO products that are coming in is the problem. Now understand this. 2 things that you should know when you're talking about processed foods or just foods in general. There's a difference between nutrition and food science. So most of us understand nutrition. Most of us sing about nutrition and the nutritional guidelines. Most of us follow guidelines from the government, from the food industry, labeled nutrition guidelines. The ones that were introduced in Africa in 1977 and problems started. So most of us follow guidelines of nutrition, but most of us don't know food science. So we'll talk about that. What is the difference between the two? What should we focus on? One involves what happens to food from the time it gets from the plate or from your mouth to the cellular level. So from the mouth to the cellular level, that is one. There's another one that is involved with food from the ground to your mouth. Okay, so one focuses on what happens to food from the ground to your mouth. The other one focuses on what happens to food from your mouth to your cell. So we'll know the difference. Another thing that you need to focus on, which are very important in these conversations, 2 things. 1, if you need to eat food or a product, basically know that they have to satisfy these 2 criteria. 1, they have to provide nutrition to the gut. They have to feed the gut. And the gut is this tube from the mouth all the way to the anus, the exits. And number 2, this substance, aka food or product, has to protect the liver. So therefore, this means whatever you're eating through your mouth has to feed the gut and has to maintain the gut health. And number 2, as it crosses the borders into the bloodstream towards the liver, it must protect the liver. So if you're eating things or substances that do not satisfy these criteria, they are a waste of your time and your health. And I put up a post today saying that some of us simply think that whatever you're suffering from, be it a skin condition, be it diabetes or hypertension, is actually independent on its own and it has to be treated as an independent entity. I keep on reminding you that most of these conditions, diabetes, hypertension, asthma, arthritis, mental health issues, gut problems, the chronic conditions that people experience, including cancer, these conditions are hailing from the same center. They are just symptoms of the one animal. But when I mention that animal, all of you become angry. All of you wonder, why am I talking against sugar and all that? That is the enemy. Because look at it keenly, all the chronic conditions are coming from one thing. The problem with the medical syllabus or the pharmacy syllabus or the nutrition syllabus, it will never mention where the pathogenesis of the diseases, where they are coming from. It will not mention where diseases are coming from, but it will be fast to actually handle the symptoms of one animal called sugar. Diabetes is a symptom of sugar problems. Hypertension is a symptom of sugar problems. Heart disease, kidney failure, brain damage, aka strokes, all these are symptoms of sugar. But some way, some form, we will find a reason to blame something else and maintain the sugar. If any case, we will only change the color of sugar from white to brown. And when I say sugar, you know what I mean. I mean carbohydrates. I am not an enemy of carbohydrates. I actually support the complex carbohydrates. If you've been on my platforms, you know that. You know that. If you've been on my platforms, you know I support complex and natural and whole carbohydrates. However, I minimize them. Why? Because they are non-essential. That's why we don't have a deficiency condition for carbohydrates. So I minimize them. Because at the end of the day, whatever is coming into the system is not the carbohydrate that you ate. It's the end product of metabolism of carbohydrate, which is sugar. Either glucose, fructose, or galactose. That is what the body knows. The body does not know white rice or brown rice, white chapati and brown chapati. Your body does not even understand colors, for heaven's sake. It is you who saw colors, and you are taught colors. You're taught this is brown, and brown is healthier than white. So it is your eye that is deceiving you, and the information that you've actually accumulated around the world, on the internet, in the syllabus, with your doctor, that is actually setting you up. And apparently, your doctor understands these things. He is just not confident enough to be honest, because if he becomes honest, there's no business. Truth has no business. How it has no profits. Healthy foods have no profits. They don't. Your doctor relies on compromised research. If he's the one doing the research, he was actually funded. And the one who funds him, we always say here, that 98% of research agrees with whoever funded it. So it's already compromised. The findings have to go through somebody to approve. And the one who approves is the one who actually funded the research. So then how do we expect honest conversations from healthcare providers, from researchers who are doing this thing? They can't. If our very own regulatory bodies are not able to tell you the truth, the same regulatory bodies that will allow a seed oil to come in, and then later on after people have consumed it, they come out and say it was toxic. The same regulatory bodies that go silent when sugar has mercury. Aye. Daktari, sukuma hii dawa. Daktari, sukuma hii. Daktari. Hey. So, number one, let's start with the definition. What is food? Because when I talk about processed foods, you see, and products, you simply wonder, what am I talking about? What is food? A simple definition that you should carry to your grave, that food is a substance that promotes nutrition and promotes growth. Two things. These are the marking points. A substance that promotes nutrition and promotes growth. Higher. Number two, what is a poison? A poison is a substance that promotes illness or death. Acha ni pause. Let us review. If food is a substance that promotes growth and promotes nutrition, what have you been eating? And if poison is a substance that promotes illness and death, what have you been eating? How did you end up being a diabetic patient if you're actually eating substances that are promoting nutrition and are promoting growth? How did you end up with hypertension, with cancer, with arthritis, if you're consuming foods and not poisons? Because your body is like a mason. If the body asks for cement, please provide cement. If the body asks for sand, please provide sand. But you provide unga when your body is asking for cement. It ends up building that wall using that unga. Can you blame the body afterwards? Can you blame the mason when you're the one who brought in the raw materials that were not recommended? Can you? So now every day you're working on fixing the cracks and the crevices in this wall that you provided. No nutrition. Constantly you're fixing diabetes, and health institutions and our ministries and our governments, I don't know how this passes them. These people sit on boards every year. If any case, every 3 months. to just review guidelines for nutrition and review guidelines for therapy. But how does this miss it? How does it miss in that conversation? People who have actually gone to school with PhDs, how does it miss in the conversation that nutrition is actually the backbone of health? How? Even on those boards, nutritionists and dietitians are sitting on those boards. But how does it escape them that actually the backbone of health is nutrition? We are what we eat. But trust me, the food that we eat is not the problem. What happened to that food that we eat is the problem. Hello? The food that we eat is not the problem. What happened to the food that we eat is the problem. And this is where processing comes in. Processing and ultra processing. Oh, if you're on this live, the only thing you can do to us is to tap the screen if you're on TikTok. But if you're on YouTube, simply like the live, because once we release the live and it has more likes, it's easier for it to reach more people before they start limiting monetization. So be honorable to simply like the live. So if you have those two definitions of food and poisons, you will know what you're eating. So food industries and pharmaceutical companies will always promote the poison over the food. Why? Because there is no business in food. There is business in poisons. Products have businesses, but foods don't have businesses. Remind me the last time you drove along a highway and you saw a billboard that has pumpkins, a billboard that has red meat, a billboard that has eggs. Remind me the last time you saw that. All we see is billboards full of pizza, full of biscuits, full of bread, and all that. And we'll hide, and I will expose how they hide in these names. Oh, sugar-free. Yeah? They tell you, oh, sugar-free, sugar-free. But then they tell you it has high corn fructose syrup. So what is sugar to them? So sugar-free but has high corn fructose syrup. So they will simply know that you will tell us, oh, you know what? This has no sugar, because you only know sugar is the table sugar. You don't know any other name they use for sugar. Right? You don't know. If they say high corn fructose syrup, you don't know. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't question it, would you? And then now your nutritionist comes in and says, calories in, calories out. Just eat and then work out. Aye, your gym instructor tells you can eat 5 meals as long as you're lifting heavy. You're okay. And then there are people online who are telling you, you know what, you can eat these calories as long as you measure the calories. And then I'm sitting there thinking, calorie is not equal to calorie, okay? Calorie is not equal to calorie. If you're looking at foods in terms of the quantity, aka calories, you're not looking at the quality, what type of calories. You want to tell me the calories that are in an egg are the same to calories in a cake. So somebody tells you if you eat 1 chapati is equivalent to 1 avocado. Did you see that guy who was busy saying that and he has clogged nose? Just because he has a body of the gym and we need to believe him? But I'm looking at the guy, I'm seeing he has all these pimples all over. He has clogged nose and he's there telling you chapati has these calories and the egg and avocado have the same calories. If any case, avocados has more calories than chapati. Therefore, if you're on a weight loss program, do not eat avocados. I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying, where is the common sense? The 2 calories are not equal. They're not the same. We might have 4 calories in an avocado and 4 calories in chapati, but they are not the same. Because of what is happening to what is making chapati. So whatever happened to the food that we eat is the problem. It's not the food that we eat. When I mention about fruits, modern fruits being dangerous, everybody's coming after me telling me, oh, no way, well, nature provided fruits. My grandfather used to eat fruits. I have no problem with that. I'm telling you, whatever happened to that fruit is the problem. The fruit is not the problem. Bananas have never been a problem. But what happened to bananas? You are a sugar addict in denial, because if I remove sugar from that banana or that watermelon or that pineapple or that mango, you are not going to eat that mango. That's why nobody is selling raw mangoes. But if I remove vitamins and I leave the sugar, the same way GMO has done, the same way agriculture has done, no nutrition in these fruits, no vitamins, no fiber, the seeds cannot regrow, they cannot attract flies, they don't go bad, but they have sugar. You are eating them and then defending them. You know, fruits have vitamins and they're healthy. And then I ask you, where did you get that from? We were told. We were told with who? By who? So you just believe what you're told. So if I told you take poisons, 2 spoons of poisons every evening because it is healthy, you will take it. Don't you think? We need to use our brains. It's not about what I say, it's about what you should know. Find out, be curious. What happened to fruits which were traditional, the seasonal fruits? What happened to them that now they have to be all through in season the whole year? Which fruits can be in season the whole year? What happened to the bitterness in these fruits that now they are so sweet? What happened between those fruits that people who are used to be lean, our great-grandfathers used to be lean and tall, no metabolic conditions? What happened to that now we eat these fruits and we have all these problems? Common sense is better than intellect. So sometimes you expose yourself and people are like, "Ai, huyu naye sana anasema nini?" And then your doctor is busy saying, "Oh, you know what? Fruits. This is a fruit, and this is a hey, daktari, please forgive us, forgive us, daktari." So yes. So what happened between the foods that were there traditionally and the foods that are there now? Even now, we don't even have foods. You look at those mangoes, and you'll start answering yourself why every apartment has a pharmacy and has a fruit vendor besides it. You'll start connecting these dots. A lot of things are happening to these foods that we don't know, and that is what we call processing. So one day, I think possibly next week, we can sit down and just have a discussion about how agriculture messed us up. Modern agriculture is a mess. Modern agriculture. Remember the 4? Agriculture, which feeds the food industry, which destroys it, and then feeds the media, and then the media markets all these things to you, and you become emotional and you buy it, and then 7 years down the line, the big pharma is clapping. Welcome on board. You are diabetic. Now we are taking over because we have solutions for the diabetics. And now you become a slave for a lifetime. Keep eating the same products that you've been eating. Don't worry. We will come and mask your symptoms and help you cope with the disease as the pharmaceutical companies. The only thing you need to do is to change the color from white to brown. Enjoy brown chapati. Enjoy brown bread. I mean, keep eating that. We are here. We'll bring you the medications to help you cope with the disease. And don't worry, you will die from the same disease. You see that? Yeah, you will die from the same disease. So what has color had to do with nutrition? That brown bread has more fiber just because it's brown. Well, so food labels will lie to you because now they've decided, because they have to clear their name, because you see KEBS, our regulatory bodies, have a standard. They have put standards. Let's put that standard in quotes. They have put standards that these foods have to attain these standards for them to be marketable in this in our markets in Kenya or in other countries. Every country has their regulatory bodies. One mess of a regulatory body is the FDA. That's a mess. It's the one that approves a lot of these things that can be dictated to be used in Africa when America has 40% obese people. 40% obese people, and yet they can determine our nutrition guidelines. How is that even making sense? Our government are actually sleeping. So food labels will lie. Why? They want to actually satisfy the criteria for them to be marketed here in our countries. So they will lie on the label. They will tell you, oh, this label, this food does not have sugar. It has this amount. They put all that information on the label. Yes, reading ingredients is okay. And I encourage you every time, read ingredients. And if you can buy anything in the supermarkets, buy something that has less than 3 ingredients on the label. The lesser the ingredients, the safer the product. At least. But you see, these people also have ability to lie on the labels. So they will tell you what is in that food, right? If in case they take the samples and the National Quality Control Laboratory measures these, the samples are saying, oh, this is what is in this product. But what they don't tell you is what happened to the raw material to make it this product that they're actually selling to you. So the label has information about what is in this product, but not what happened to this product. This food, what happened to it to make it a product. You see that? That is the part that is most relevant, but is the part that is actually most missed. So I can make my product and then tell you this is what is in this product, but I will not tell you what happened to the raw materials that I used to make this product. They remove the fiber, they remove the vitamins, they remove the nutrients and minerals, and then they fortify it with synthetic products that are highly addictive, Some of them, they use codes that you can't even know what this code means. They add in MSG to actually numb your taste buds so that you never taste food in its natural states or tastes. And now they make it so addictive because they add in fructose. Fructose messes up with your reward system in the head. When you eat a product that has fructose, because it is so sweet, the body picks it so fast, rewards you by feeling good. So you eat that mango, it has high fructose, you feel good. It has been genetically modified to produce a lot of sugar. You feel good about the mango. You eat the chapati, it has so much fructose, you feel good about it. So the body rewards you with a feel good. That's a reward for eating sugar. And guess what happens next? You want more of it. You want more of it. And the more you eat, the more you mess up the gut, because these are inflammatory foods. And then now your hormones start misbehaving. And when the hormones start misbehaving, you don't go to the food industry to ask questions. Where do you go to? Your gynecologist. And this gynecologist charges you money for that consultation, only to tell you the same things that you've been having or hearing day in, day out. Now the gynecologist diagnoses you with hormonal imbalance, a very vague condition. Hormonal imbalance. Doesn't tell you where you're getting this from, but the first thing he does is to write a 3 months hormonal contraceptive cycle. So you go and take hormonal replacement therapy for 3 months. Do you see the connection? Are you thinking? Do you see the connection? Guys, it's so obvious. They do it right in front of our eyes. The reason is we are so afraid to ask questions. So when you're afraid, when you're living in fear and doubt, you will always rely on the doctor to tell you everything because you have no information. So they will play you just in front of you. So the doctor does not even tell you where this came from. The diagnosis is hormonal imbalance. Which hormone is imbalancing? Why are you giving me more hormones, which are synthetic? How will the synthetic hormones balance natural hormones? And then the doctor tells you these are guidelines. So now we are using guidelines to treat symptoms of a bad kitchen. Why don't we change the kitchen? Now we move from there. 7 years down the line, you have diabetes, a new diagnosis. Oh, he is newly diagnosed with diabetes. Then, now when you hear diabetes, and then they sell you the fear, you know if you don't take the medication for diabetes, you'll have a stroke, you'll have a heart disease, you'll have problems, you'll have kidney failure, because diabetes is dangerous. And they define diabetes. It is a chronic disease. When you hear these things, you buy the fear successfully. Once you buy the fear successfully, you become a slave. Nobody will talk about your kitchen. They will talk about the new medication for diabetes. Oh, we'll combine metformin with what is the combination? Triviamet. We'll combine metformin with sitagliptin. This is the best combination for drugs. Now you are a drug addict for a lifetime. You see that? So nobody is going to talk about where it came from. Nobody will tell you that, but everybody will tell you how to solve what they don't even know. Because there are guidelines to treat a symptom. So which symptom? Diabetes. Oh, now we have a new symptoms. Well, how do you treat it? There are guidelines for treatment of symptom called diabetes. Oh, hypertension came in. Oh, don't worry, this is not related to the sugars. We now have new guidelines for this year to treat what? To treat hypertension independently. So now we treat hypertension, we treat diabetes, we treat cancer, we treat all the inflammatory conditions as individuals, as independent entities. And what are we doing? We are simply expanding the business for pharmaceutical companies because we are treating symptoms of one thing, sugar. Why don't we do away with the sugar? Why don't we do away with the sugar? Because hormonal imbalance is a sugar problem. Estrogen is an insulin problem. So why don't we handle the sugar problem and the hormones balance on themselves? Why do we find a reason to allow you to eat the same things that you've been doing, do the same lifestyle that you've been doing, and then we come out with guidelines to help you manage the symptoms of your lifestyle? Does it make sense to you guys? At least for me it doesn't, but that's what we do all the time, right? So it's amusing that somebody comes to me and I tell them, you know what, your condition is basically dietary, so let's edit your diets. And by the time I'm done with the conversations, they're asking me, so there's no medication. I'm like, how brainwashed are you? Why do you think that because you've owned the disease, why do you think that your hypertension is coming from a different thing than her diabetes, than his arthritis, than her hormonal imbalances? Why do you think that they're coming from different things and they have to be treated independently? What you're focusing on is treating the symptoms and not the causes of diseases. Run away from that. Any doctor who is addressing your nutrition before anything else, any doctor who gives you an ear to listen to your history, any doctor who does a thorough physical examination before writing a prescription, please uphold that doctor. Some of your doctors don't even know your face. They can't even remember you. Because you come in and the only thing they have is a patient number. They key it in the system, there's all the information about you, and now they can lift their head and say, oh, Nancy, you're here. Hey, welcome back. How are you doing? Umemeza dawa vizuri? Then they write another prescription. And look at it this way, it's so intentional that you walk into a consultation room, you have about 5 minutes to explain yourself. Once you explain yourself, the doctor is busy suspecting you have this type of condition, sends you to the laboratory. By the time you're coming from the laboratory to him, he has your results already on a computer. So therefore, you don't have any time to ask anything. That's why they don't even interpret your lab results to you. So you don't have anything, you don't know anything. When you come in, the doctor already writes the prescription and hands it to you because he wants to save time to make more money. Hands it to you and sends you to the pharmacy. In the pharmacy, the pharmacist or pharmaceutical technology is busy writing 2 times 3. Ile hesabu haishangi. 2 times 3, 4 times 1. You're wondering 4 times 1 or 1 times 4, which is which? Meza 4 mara moja. Meza 2 mara 3. 2 mara 3. If I took 2 now, 2 the following minute, is it okay, daktari? Now he becomes angry. Unaona line ni kubwa hapa. But I'm asking you, hii sababu mbona hujaandika hapa equals to 6? Pharmacist. I thought 2 times 3 is equals to 6. Why is there not? Hii hesabu tutamaliza lini, daktari? Right? So because you don't want to waste time here because you're looking at the queue behind you, it's a long queue. You want to move faster so that others have served. The guilt, you're moving with the guilt. You simply go home without even understanding what you're going to take. Right? These things are happening to you guys. And they started being messed up in the food industry. What happened to the processing and ultra processing? So the difference between nutrition and food science, that's what you should know. Focus on the food science, ignore the nutrition part. Because your body understands that nutrition better than you. Focus on the food science. What exactly happened between the ground and the mouth? That is food science. What happens to food from the time it's coming from the ground to your mouth? That is food science. Now, what is happening between your mouth and the cells? That is nutrition. Do you have any control over what is happening between your mouth and your cells? No. But do you have control over what is coming from the ground into your mouth? Yes. So then what should you focus on mostly? What should you focus on mostly, backbenchers? Should you focus on nutrition or food science? So food science should be involved or included in the medicine faculty. And these things that I'm telling you here, no nutritionist will tell you, no dietitian will tell you. You've seen how dietitians behave. You go to them and the only thing they're doing right now, they have been reduced to just people who write diet plans. Oh, I'm selling a diet plan at 1,000 bob. Oh, I'm selling this. This is just about diet plan. As if the diet plan will work for everybody. I'm writing diet plans. So you people come to me and ask me if I write diet plans. I tell you I don't write diet plans. You pelekea dietitians and nutritionists. Because that's their specialty. They want to write those diet plans for you and buy them. Once you buy them, you see, even your nutritionists are just obese. You have obese nutritionists who are writing a diet plan for you. Come on, ask questions. I mean, this diet plan cannot help you, Madam Nutritionist. But it's going to help me. How special am I that your guidelines are going to help me? Your diet plan is going to help me lose weight. But you, the doctor, when it comes to you, nutritionist, when it comes to you, you don't want to lose weight. Like, thick is enough, right? Thick thighs are the best for nutritionists and dietitians. But when it comes to me, who has diabetes, now I have to shed my thick thighs, right? And I will use your diet plan to shed thick thighs. Ai dawe. Dawe. Yo hozue. Kada hiyo. Let me try my ways and then inishinde. But I'll look for somebody who looks like somebody who can actually maintain health. I was looking at a certain was it an interview on Citizen TV sometimes back, where I was saying that Murang'a County have purchased these trucks that are dialysis, moving dialysis. So they bring dialysis centers to the doorstep of the villagers who cannot access health care or who cannot access the health institution, the hospitals. So they have a truck they have purchased. By the way, well done to the governor of Murang'a County. He's doing an amazing job. We cannot take that away from him. So these things, so they are taking these dialysis machines, these trucks to the villages to just serve, to make sure that people in the villages are actually given services in terms of kidney problems. However, on the same interview, the governor was looking lean than the nephrologist. Ladies and gentlemen, please go and look at that interview, you'll see. The nephrologist who suggested that this has to be done, and it was done by the governor, is obese, but the governor is lean. I'm like, who is the doctor here? Murang'a County. Murang'a, we will call you out, boy. So then you want me to to trust that my kidneys are going to be safe here? No sooner had we done. We saw what happened in Medihill. You're going for a CS and then they take the kidneys. So I was looking at that interview and I was just analyzing. I was watching it with my father and I was telling my dad, look at this. Like, these are people you guys go to take medication for blood pressures and all that. And a whole nephrologist can't see the reason why he should not lose weight. So therefore, how is the nutrition for these people who have the kidney problems? No wonder in those dialysis setups, these people are being given cakes and being told, you know, this dialysis machine can actually take you into hypo. You know, when you're doing dialysis, it can actually bring you more problems. So therefore, what do? You must take something. Here is a snack. There's a queen cake here. Here is some soda. As you do the dialysis, please take this. Please, if you've undergone dialysis, tell me I'm lying. On that dialysis table, on that dialysis bed, as the machines are taking in blood and purifying the blood and bringing it back into your system, you're busy taking sugar. I mean, what caused dialysis? How did you end up in dialysis? Was it not a diabetes complication, a sugar problem? And now you're taking sugar as you take the dialysis. So we are maintaining you where you are, right? They eat even chapo, yes. And chapo is basically sugar. So you get the complication of sugars, but you still eat the same sugars as you're actually managing the complication of sugars. It doesn't make sense. That way. Fanta orange, I'm telling you. And queen cakes. This will boost your blood sugars. And nobody tells you that insulin is actually going to take you into hypo. So when you inject insulin, you're into hypo, you have to eat again. And whatever you're eating is not food. If it was food, why don't you eat meat, fatty meats? Why don't you eat eggs? Why not fish? Why do you run to take a carbohydrate? Yet you have a sugar problem. Are you seeing what I'm seeing now? Somebody is saying KFC pale Aga Khan. Woi! Si mimi nimesoma comment. Acha tukunywe maji. So umekula, umefika hapo, umefanyia dialysis. Every week you're paying 10,000 for 3 sessions or 4 sessions. That is 40,000 a week. 40,000 times 4 in a month. That is 120,000 for one process. That is dialysis only. I have not even talked about medication. I have not even talked about the foods that you're supposed to take after the dialysis. And then you people sit there and you tell me healthy eating is expensive. Somebody is saying Mirinda. People are taking Mirinda on a dialysis table. A sugar problem being treated with sugars. How about dates? Dates are sugars. High in sugars. Where I work, this is Mudoni the Boo. Where I work, they take tea with bread, with milk before dialysis because they need strength. Yes, you see, dialysis is going to win you down. You need strength. I have struggled to tell my patients, most of the drugs that you're taking don't need food. They tell me, oh, you know what, dawa zangu za pressure, if I take them without food, see, I will faint. You're almost fainting without food. Trust me, you're almost fainting with even that food. Wait until a stroke hits you, you will faint. Without me telling you to fast, you will faint. So choose you. Energy drinks. So they take milk before dialysis because they need strength. And then take ugali with chicken. Look at that. Broiler chicken, of course. And then all the doctors flock their lunch hour because there is free food. So you, the patient, plus the doctor, you're seated there eating ugali and broiler chicken that has chemicals, and then you go there and you have your dialysis. Now you have the strength to actually withstand dialysis, right? Hey. Some of these hospitals are working together with the food industries. So the food industry is actually promoting them. In our idea. If you're a dialysis client, please request to be a guest. We need that conversation. Can we agree doctors give out medication, they don't treat patients? You please don't even edit that statement. Treatment is not treatment. You see that? Treatment is not treatment. And let me tell you, there's a book that you guys, I'll recommend someday. Let me just finish it. It's actually saying here, I hope you can see that. People on TikTok can't see that. It's actually saying, treatment is not cure. It is not even treatment. Okay? Hey. Nowadays, to die is expensive. Watch. Dying is even expensive. Well. You think healthy foods are expensive? Death is now more expensive than healthy foods. By the time you're dying, you've sold your land. We've just left with the place where we'll put your grave. That's the only place that is remaining. The other place. Hey. So nutritionists will not tell you what I'm telling you. Dietitians will not. Doctors will not. Internet blogs will not. Actually, internet blogs are the craziest ones. Advertisements are full of lies. They will not tell you anything. Food labels are a lie. Ingredients labels are lies. And then we read them and then we thumb chest ourselves, say, oh, you know what, now I've made it. And little by little you grow fat. And trust me, sugar will not kill you directly. Sugar is very funny. That's why we mask it. So sugar will not kill you directly. What sugar does, it allows other things to actually kill you. For example, do you see how COVID killed people who had diabetes? The same people who had diabetes, including doctors, were making guidelines on how lean people who don't eat sugar should actually behave around them. They were telling us to put on masks. They were telling us to social distance on a flu. Somebody who had diabetes, of course, they would be swept out easily with corona. So now we have a lockdown for everybody. Now fat people want us to wear masks all over. Because if you don't wear masks, you might end up sweeping them all out. I'm telling you, a natural disaster can come and sweep all of you out so easily. COVID, if it didn't teach you any lesson, you will never be taught. So now you end up having hormonal imbalances, you have common flu every time, you have allergies all the time, and you're treating them independently. So allergies have treatments for allergies, antihistamines. Diabetes has antidiabetics, hypertension has antihypertensives, cancer has anti-cancer chemotherapeutic agents, surgeries, and radiations. And then you end up with how many drugs on one prescription? 10. Oh, this one is for blood clotting. Take aspirin. Oh, this one is for diabetes. Take a combination of metformin and what? Sitagliptin. Oh, this one is for hypertensive. Take a combination of hydrochlorothiazide and what? HCTZ. What do you call it? HCTZ? Hydrochlorothiazide plus what? Yeah? Losartan H. Right? Those are already two. So Losartan H, 2 drugs. Sitagliptin plus metformin, which is Trivimet, 2 drugs. You have drugs for allergies, multiple drugs, a steroid, which is prednisolone or hydrocortisone, plus what? Plus an antihistamine, celastamine or something. And then you have respiratory allergies, they add you an inhaler that has more steroids. You have arthritis, there's a painkiller, there's an anti-inflammatory in terms of a steroid. Then you wonder, how did I end up? You have now a drug for cholesterol, which will give you side effects, 7 of them, and you have 7 more drugs to treat those side effects. So now you have supplements and medication on one prescription that you can't even tell. Some of you have even, there's something that I saw. A patient came in with a certain tool, like a plastic tool, and it's labeled morning and evening. So one side, they have put 7 medication for evening. This other side, they have put 6 medication for morning. So now, the caregiver has to load drugs in this thing, so that now the patient walks with that thing to the office. I hope that guy gets better, because I'm going to use him as an example one day, and he actually allowed us to. But I'm waiting until that time comes. Pill organizer, yes, McKenna. So now the pill organizer has 6 pills for morning and 7 pills for evening, so that this guy does not forget. So every morning before this guy leaves for work and before he takes the morning medication, the caregiver fills this pill organizer with medication. So he has to go, oh, this is atorvastatin, let's put it in the evening. This is a hydralazine evening. This is which one is that? Nogluk evening. The other one, morning. Oh, this guy is working with like a shaker. Eh? This guy tells me sometimes they even feel it this way and I still forget. Because now I'm losing memory because of this atorvastatin. I never used to lose memory. But now I'm losing memory because of this medication. No, we have a conversation, it's just thinking, maybe I'm losing memory because of this atorvastatins. It's a wicked healthcare system. And he was given that organizer in a very great private hospital in Kenya. Hospitali yangu mzuri. Walinipea mpaka pill organizer. Hey. Poleni majamaa. Poleni. Okay? Poleni sana. Where? Any questions? Any questions? My dad died of stomach cancer, leaving 3.5 million in medical bills. Listen to that. 3.5 Mike. Do you know what 3.5 million can do to you? And imagine this is 3.5 million as a bill. And in your head you knew this guy is going to die because the diagnosis is cancer is at stage 4. He is automatically going to die. So then now we have to make a bill after he's gone. So imagine the worst thing to do is to actually serve somebody that you're so sure is going to die. You're selling land to just maintain his life. You have the guilt that you must maintain him or her. Now you're 3.5 million in medical bills. If I knew this channel then, we won't at least have spent the last 4 years paying a bill for a dead person. Please, Grace, keep growing. Some of these comments, listen, I get a lot of emails, a lot of messages, both the ones that are saying, thank you, Daktari, for changing my life for the better, but I tell you, I did not change your life. My role is to point you in the direction of light. Whatever you do, it's you who makes the decision. So if you get better, it is you who has actually done that. Celebrate yourself and then glorify God for it. But if once you sit down and have a good conversation with me or us, you will understand the lies. You will see it and you will walk out of that slavery instantly. How many people leave my office with already a mindset that, you know what, I am better. I am already well. Daktari, don't even say a word. You let me do it. I'll come back to you. I have 6 to 8 weeks from now. Allow me to do the work. I will come back. The hope that comes out of these people, because you just pointed them to the side of light. You did not do anything. Just point them to the side of light. That's why I'm telling you, work with those who want to work with you. If you're my follower, share the information as much as you can. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. But don't lie. And don't exploit people to just get money because you've actually gotten information from these channels. Don't do that. Because it's going to come back to you. It will punish you hard. It'll catch up. In UK, we call pill organizers blister packs, but they are very popular here, the West. The West. And the West is messed up by food industry. It is messed up by agriculture. It is messed up by insurance companies. And we'll talk about insurance companies. Those are the new casinos. Insurance companies are the new casinos. You should see those insurance sellers, the policy sellers, when they come to you with ties and they are very, very calm. Because they have to convince you, you know what, this 100,000 that you're paying as premiums is actually very, very important. So they come here and they talk to you in a softer way until you sign their policy. That's when you realize this guy was a beast. Because you just take a corner and you find the same guy who was selling you a policy of a lifetime is eating roasted maize. A piece of roasted maize because it's broke as crazy. Huyu mwenye alikuulizia insurance ya 1,000 as premiums, 100,000. He's eating maize or he cannot even afford his lunch. but it's coming in to sell you an idea of an insurance policy that is going to actually change the life of your people. You know, this is the best insurance company. Wewe, salespeople, tumewajua bana. So now I take an insurance policy and then I start fasting and eating healthy. And then I'm still paying premiums for insurance companies that when you get worse, you see how they play as casinos. You will pay and they will add on the premiums. Once you pay those premiums, they will decide how much they will give you in terms of therapy. They will decide which conditions to cover and which one they will not cover. That's the information they don't tell you in the beginning. They will just tell you, you pay this is what you get as an advantage. Once you've paid, that's when you realize, I actually send my money into a grave. They will be there telling you, oh, you know what, we don't cover kidney problems. That's a chronic condition, we don't cover it with this insurance. I see them all the time. That shashe shisho shu, does it? I mean, I'm saying shashe shisho shu. I did not mention anything. Don't come after my neck. Yeah? Well. Amazing. Let's keep going. So what you need to know, potassium permanganate or potassium manganate decided to just give us gifts. Thank you for the gifts, gentlemen or lady. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate anybody who has actually liked your life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is May. We have a 3 months weight loss program that is starting on the 15th of May. So use the contact that I always provide, 07070707. Let me just put it here. 0707074722. Is it 42? 40? Right? Yeah. So 0707074722. That is our office contact. Use that contact to book an appointment, whether online or physical. And I will actually want you to start booking the physical consultations that will happen at the end of this month in Nairobi. Possibly, we are actually hoping that starting June, we can actually go around the country. If God gives us the strength, we will live today. Whatever happens tomorrow is God's plan. So use this contact 0707074722 to book your online appointment or even a physical appointment so that you can be scheduled earlier. I've realized most of you, we are leaving Nairobi, that's when you want to come in. You're asking me, Daktari, are you still in Nairobi? I'm telling you, no, I've been here for the last 2 weeks, so I'm leaving. And then you want to come in. I don't know why people are so much into the last minute. Shout out to Team 𝗛𝗘𝗧𝗦, straight from Germany, who actually came in to Nairobi this time round. That was just amazing, man. It was an amazing thing. Shout out to Peter and the wife who came in from Zimbabwe. Hey, man, that was just an amazing thing. So yeah, thank you so much for coming through and actually allowing us to be people who can change your life for the better. So use that contact to book an online appointment and also a physical appointment. But send a WhatsApp text. Do not call, because most of you call. There are a lot of calls coming into that number. We can't pick all of them. So please send a text on WhatsApp on 0707074722 to book your online appointment, also to book your physical appointment. And you can use that also book a slot in your weight loss program that is coming in on the 15th of this month. It is a 3 months weight loss program. Be part of it and just see how things change. We don't bring in weight loss. No, we bring in a holistic approach of health. We teach you things about nutrition, about exercise, about diseases and conditions, the ill nature of the food industry. We teach you all these things so that once you graduate from that program, you have all the information you need to be a better human being. And secondary to that, you get to lose weight. Therefore, we don't expect you to have sagging skin. We don't expect you to have all these problems and complications that come with other weight loss programs. So karibu sana. We will wait to see you there from the 15th of this month. We have merchandise that we're actually selling: fermented cabbages, roasted and grounded coffee. We have activated charcoal. We have the mugs, and people are loving those mugs. We have the mugs and the cups. We have the water bottles and the t-shirts and all those, even notebooks and diaries. All these things, you can actually get them at Imenti House, shop number 60 on the 2nd floor. The gentleman there called Brian Omwenga. That gentleman is just awesome. If you're on my platforms, on Telegram, Health and Wellness Sport, on YouTube, Health and Wellness Sport, on Facebook, Lewis Muchile, you will get the contacts there. I always post them there. And thank you so much, my Facebook people. We just closed the 90,000 followers on Facebook. Amazing. Salute. We just crossed the I think we are getting into the 35,000 people on YouTube. That's just amazing. So thank you for following us. We are at 7,000 people on Telegram. Go there and join that generation of people who understand health, okay? Be part of us. Good. We proceed. So things that I would like you to know. I told you that the criteria for anything that qualifies to be called food. 1, it must feed the gut. And 2, it must protect the liver. Those are the 2 criteria for classification of food. If not, all of them are products. So listen, another thing you should know about the food industry. What the food industry does, it lies to you, and this is how it does. So it puts high sugars, but changes the name of the sugar. You've seen high corn fructose syrup. Let me just take you through the names of the sugars that these things, that the food industry uses. So high fructose corn syrup, that is sugar. And fructose is a very dangerous sugar to the gut and to the liver. Therefore, anything that has fructose, it is not food, it is poison. It does not qualify for the 2 criteria, the liver and the gut. High corn fructose syrup, we have maltose, we have sucrose. Did you know sucrose is the table sugar? Glucose and fructose. We have corn syrup. Syrup is 67% sugar and 33% water. That is what we call a syrup. So corn syrup, there's brown rice syrup. Do you see that? When they say brown rice syrup, you're actually automatically thinking, this is the best. Imagine it's brown. Coming from brown rice, there is no way it has sugar. It's brown rice syrup. Another name. Golden syrup. Hey. I'm telling you, the food industry has the best professors in nutrition and in medicine. And psychologists and psychiatrists, they're the ones who actually come up with these things. The coloring of foods, the use of children in marketing and advertisements, the colors in the food parlors, the red and white colors. They're the ones who come out with these things because they know how to manipulate you. At the golden syrup, imagine that. Honey. If I say honey, you don't know honey is sugar. Did you? Molasses. There's another good one, a beautiful one. At the fruit juice concentrate. Fruit juice concentrate. There's another one, ethyl mannitol. How would you know that is sugar if you're not on these platforms? Ethyl mannitol. And then there's another one called carob syrup. Carob syrup. Where? The same food industry uses things that we call the health halos. The lies that are called health halos. You've heard of granola bars? At the granola bars. You've heard of natural and pure natural yogurt, organic. You've heard of that? You've heard of vegetable ghee? Health halos that you people follow and fall for. You've heard of keto chocolate bars. Sindio? Mnajua hizi vitu. You've heard of plant-based snacks. Hey. Bana hizi vitu zinafanya tujikune kichwa mpaka tupate upara. At natural yogurt. I tell somebody drop milk is for babies and calves. They tell me, how about natural and probiotic yogurt? I'm like, hey, wait. My friend, there is no food coming from an industry. It's a product, it's poison. So you've heard those names that they used to quote sugar. At lactose free, at sugar free. Sugar free, and then when you read the ingredients, you see high corn fructose syrup or high fructose corn syrup. What is that? I guess ghee is good. This one is a confused one. Let's help her or him. Tatas, ghee is good, but ghee does not come from vegetables. There's no vegetable ghee. Ghee comes from milk. So go and find ghee that is coming from milk. It has 2 ingredients. It has butter and it has moisture. There's no milk coming from vegetables. So there's no vegetable ghee. Okay? Amazing. And then there's another lie, health halos, about the expiry date. Most of you think just because it has not expired is good for consumption. Do you see that? Oh, hii dawa unaangalia tu expiry date. Hii chakula unaangalia expiry date. Expiry dates are a mess. They don't talk about safety. They don't depict safety. No, they don't. Expiry dates just show this product is good during this period of time on the shelves. Talk about Coke Zero. Listen, diet soda has caramel. They said caramel is not sugar, but we're going to talk about caramel as we'll be talking about the codes that they use. So there are codes like E250, E200. You've seen those codes, but you don't understand what are these codes. So some of them know that already. Skimmed milk is the worst. Gluten-free, another lie. At a fruit juice, where are they getting all these fruits all year? How is it possible that that fruit juice is always in season the whole year? They are lying to you guys. Wake up. Yes, stabilizers, emulsifiers, acidulants, preservatives, all of them, they have put on codes. So they realized that you people are waking up. That MSG, monosodium glutamate, is the one that they use for flavoring and they give flavor to food so that you don't taste food in the natural states. And it's causing cancer. So what do? In the soups that they use in the hotels, that soup that you always go for in that hotel is MSG. That KFC thing, the crunchy part, is MSG. The Roycos that you people buy has monosodium glutamate. Read the ingredients, you'll see MSG. And MSG is a toxic substance to your gut, to your brain. That's why we are having all these autism cases coming up. The depression are coming up because of these things. They mess up the gut, they mess up your taste buds, they mess up your dopamine receptors. They keep you addicted to foods. The more you eat, the more you want to eat. And now they realize, oh, this is a mess. What did they do? They started coding them. E250, E197, E whatever. So listen to these codes. So when you see E100 to E199, so from 100 to 199, E100 to E199, that is a colorant. And one of the most famous colorant they use is this thing called the yellow, what is it? The natural yellow or the blue one. Sometimes they use, what is this name? The name they use for colors. I remember and I'll tell you. That is E100 to E199. Those are colorants, the food colors, that have actually been banned in the East or in the West. Number two, if is 2E100 to E299, that is a preservative. And an example of this, yes, the dyes, thank you, Angalwa. The dyes, so from E200 to E299, those are preservatives. And you tell me, how is it natural yogurt? How is it probiotic yogurt when it has a preservative? Which microorganism is going to survive in a preservative? Are we thinking? So imagine they are telling you this is natural and it has no preservatives. No, it has probiotics. Probiotics are basically microorganisms that are actually coming in to help you. So how can it have microorganisms and at the same time have a preservative? Not making sense at all. So E200 to E299, those are preservatives. And a good example is E202. That is potassium sorbate. One of the ingredients that actually causes a lot of allergies in children, the eczema and the dermatitis in children. So it messes up the gut and causes both respiratory and skin allergies. It also damages the DNA from the mitochondrial level, therefore mental health issues. That is potassium sorbate. But because they know if you know potassium sorbate, you'll go and find out the information about it, they label it E202. Oh, Makori is just reminding me, I've forgotten stevia. So they tell you, oh, stevia is good for the gut. Stevia is natural. How about the adrenals that are messed up by stevia? Anyway, E300 to E399, that is an antioxidant or acidulants. So they use it to regulate the acid in the food. And what example is here? E300. E300 is ascorbic acid. They lie to you is vitamin C. Ascorbic acid, synthetic ascorbic acid that is added in foods is not vitamin C. It is a combination of cornstarch from Mexico plus sulfuric acid. You combine those two, you get synthetic ascorbic acid. It is not vitamin C. You remember the tablets that you people were consuming during the COVID season? Oh, this is vitamin C. It's not. What is the taste of vitamin C? That tablet was so sweet. How many of you know the taste of vitamin C? But how many of you know the taste of sugar? So that's an acidulant, E300. It's ascorbic acid. Sulfuric acid and what? Let's continue. E400 to E499. These are the thickeners and the emulsifiers. They make it very soluble, which means this is something that is not even soluble. So now it has to be made soluble by using emulsifiers. And E412 is actually the guar gum. Read the ingredients, you'll see guar gum. In your chewing gum, there's guar gum. So most of you eat chewing gum and you say, chewing gum keeps me alert. Chewing gum makes my mind alert. Remove the sugar from that chewing gum. How many of you will take it? E600 to E699. These are the flavorants. So guess what? Our famous MSG, monosodium glutamate, is E621. So if you have a food product that has E621, just know that is monosodium glutamate. Poison. It is a cancer-causing agent. It destroys the mitochondria. It destroys your DNA. It destroys your gut, destroys gut microorganisms, and fries your brain. Therefore, autism, mental health issues, depression, and all that. Seizures, MSG. We've talked about it multiple times. At a chewing gum because of fresh breath, you just have a bad smelling mouth. There's nothing like fresh breath coming from a chewing gum. Fix your gut. Fix the kitchen. E900 to E999. Those are the sweeteners and the gases. And E951 is aspartame, a very gut inflaming agent. But what did they tell you about that soda? Sugar-free. And what is the sugar in this? What is the sweetener in this? Aspartame. And what does aspartame do? Kills gut microorganisms, inflames the gut. Hello? So that soda is good, right? That soda is the best because it has no sugar. It's sugar-free, right? And you want to take it cold and sweating. The bottle is just sweating because if you allow it to warm and you open it up and allow the gases to leave, that thing cannot be taken. Have you ever opened your soda and allow it to just get some warmth and allow it to just, the air goes, the carbonic acid, the CO2 goes out? Can you drink that soda? So your soda is specifically drunk when cold, sweating, and with the gases, so that you belch your way to the pharmacy to take more omeprazole, right? No wonder pharmacies are businesses. They will never close down. No wonder there's always a new hospital everywhere. There's a hospital. Sugarcane juice is fructose, my friend. There's nothing natural about sugarcane juice. That is just fructose. Pure grade fructose. And they tell you, oh, fructose is going to help you. The sugarcane juice is actually good for liver problems. But fructose is the one that actually causes the liver problems. But now, sugarcane juice is the healer of liver problems. A fatty liver is healed by more sugar. It is natural. Don't worry. See, this is natural. The body does not understand natural and synthetic. Yawa. What of coconut water? Take it. Take it. As long as it's not coming from the industry, it's not adulterated. Remember we said food, we are interested in food science. So from the ground to your mouth, that is what we are interested in. So if you allow something to happen between the ground and your mouth, drop it. If you have control over that process from guavas, now there's a GMO. I actually saw guavas that are GMO, guys. I wanted to carry it. I actually saw it somewhere in Oyugis. GMO guavas. Imagine guavas have been adulterated already. Guavas. Mapera. Guavas that we used to eat until we constipate. Now they are GMO. Anyway. I was shocked about guavas. I was like, guavas! Even what business is in the guava that you can actually make a GMO to just sell this? Guava. Ati guava juice. Now there's guava juice, right? So they said, now ameenda sana. Guavas. You know, we used to eat guavas and then you constipate until your parent just takes off the stool with a stick. And then the stool is full of the seeds because they are indigestible. A lot of seeds. And that's how guavas just spread all over. So do we need guavas? Do we need GMO for that? To actually make sure that there's a supply of guavas to make juices. We don't want guava juice. We want the guava. Hey, Bill Gates. Hey, now he comes in and tells us, oh, climate change. Oh, you know what? Cows are farting methane and sheep are farting methane. So we have to do away with the cows and make meat, print meat from the laboratories. The same guy who tells you that, and yet we understand that cows and sheep contribute to only 5% of methane. Transport industry, petroleum, gasoline, jet fuel, contribute to 50%. And he's the one who is flying a private jet here. So the private jet has no problem, yet it contributes 50% of methane that is emitted in the environment. But now cows which are contributing 5% have to be destroyed, and now we print meat from his kind. Aye. The same people who tell you do not eat meat, but eat sausages. So don't eat meat from a cow from a butchery, but go and eat processed meat. Remember, nutrition and food science. So don't eat food science. Don't concentrate on food science. Simply concentrate on nutrition. They are lying to you. If you have control, if you have a farm, please, if you have a farm, take control. Use manure, grow all those natural and organic foods and fruits. Let them be in your farm and just study that farm and tell me if there will be 2 fruits in season at the same time. And if there will be fruits in season for a whole year. Tell me that. Don't allow them to do that. Okay? Don't allow them to do that to you. Allow them to do it to people who want it. Because there are people who actually love their health. They want to suffer. It's okay. Alright? So, these are the industries. So listen, the 2 criteria. They protect the liver and protect the gut, or feed the gut. If a product or a substance feeds these 2 things, that is food. Enjoy it. If it satisfies only one, either it feeds the gut but destroys the liver, or protects the liver but destroys the gut, that is bad food. But it's lesser bad, right? It's a lesser bad because it at least targets one. But if they destroy all the 2, like MSG, destroys the liver, destroys even the brain plus the gut, stay away from that nonsense. It's not food. The processed spices, the margarine, the seed oils, the processed wheat products. Hey, wachana nazo kabisa. Okay? So, industries that are actually messing us up totally. Number 1 on the list is not even the food industry, it's the government. Plus government agencies. If you still believe in that, if you still believe in that organization, you're wasting time. They want money. They want brown khaki bashers that are filled with money. Once the industry brings that money, it will be approved. So don't wait for that industry to actually change your life. Don't wait for that regulatory body to change your life. It can't. They don't even care. That board has fat people. How do you expect fat people to change your life? Anyway, so government. What do you think about air fryers? Now, look at the material that coats air fryers. It's Teflon. Teflon is also coating the non-stick pans. That's a criminal offense. That's cancer. That's hormonal problems. They disrupt hormones. So don't allow that. That's a gut mess. That's a liver mess. Okay? So industries that you people think that care about you. 1 is the government. Government is an industry, plus its agencies. Number 2 is the insurance company, the casino, the new casino, which increases the rates, determines the pay, and sometimes decides what to cover. That is a casino. Number 3, we have the chemical industries. You see, the food industry makes room for the raw materials that are coming from the chemical industries. The colorants, the flavorants, all of them are coming from the chemical industry. So the food industry and the chemical industry are one. So government, insurance companies or insurance policies and companies, chemical industries, now the food industry, and agriculture. And then finally, the pharmaceutical companies that come in to actually mask the problems in form of surgeries, medical devices, drugs, vaccines, and all that. So if you're wise, you already know that we've covered those 4. We've covered the agriculture industry, which we'll cover on another live in detail. We have covered the media. The media comes in to market the fear. They sell you the fear by telling you COVID is going to kill you. Oh, we have 3 cases in Kenya. Oh, we have this. That is selling you fear. And that is not their role. Their role is actually that. So they are paid to actually sell you fear. Once they've sold the public fear successfully, now they come and sell you the solutions to your fear in form of vaccines. Oh, the government has said that vaccines should be given to livestock. Oh, the government has said, and then they bring in an expert from the government to actually shed more light on these vaccines in livestock. Sometimes they bring in politicians. Of course, most times they bring in politicians. And they act as though they are neutral. So they are trying to actually, wanagonganisha our politicians. And you see, oh, my Sifuna is the best here. Oh, he debates people and he's doing God's work. Doing God's work. I'm looking at him like, wachana TV. Your politician is the one who is actually being used to manipulate you, because he knows you're emotional. So he uses your emotions to actually make sure that his agenda is actually successful. They are paid. These same politicians that were paid 10,000 shillings to pass a law in the toilets, you've forgotten. They are greedy. They are used to actually pass laws to support the agenda of the capitalists. They are the ones who are actually funded to pass laws that will manipulate you. They wanted to pass a law that you must have a license to do farming. Do you remember? That you must pay taxes for each tree of avocado in your farm. You remember that? Same politicians who sit there, they are your representatives. But when they are on television, they want to exercise some muscles defending their political parties. They have no interest of you at heart. So why are you watching them? Why are you listening to them? You wait for them in the ballot box and just kick them out. Huh? Yes, imagine you need a permit to slaughter a chicken. You need a permit to have a cow. Yeah, because this cow is going to poop, and that poop is methane, and methane is going to destroy the environment, and therefore climate change. But the gentleman can actually fly in with a private jet and out. And, hey, that way. And it says a dog, well, when I health insurance, I have it actually. And if I had an option, I wouldn't take it. But now, which option do I have? So I cut on taxes now, you know. How can I control that? I've just found myself here with the police. I'm like, okay, sawa, kateni tuju, hata nikiwaambia mtafanya kitu. I do. It's not my fault. Okay? Yeah. But if I had an option, because I can't remember the last time I was in hospital. At your hey, 2019 or 2020 when I got TB. And TB drugs are free. They don't need a policy. So I got TB. And I have a vaccine for TB, guys. I asked that lady, how did I end up here? And then she told me, maybe it has faded off. So you need a booster. I'm like, where? At the IPT. They call it IPT in hospitals. Now you have to take a pill to cover you from TB as a healthcare provider. I told you, where? You take it. We will meet there. Let me get another TB. I'm okay. I'm here already with a vaccine and I still contracted TB. So then, how is it making sense? And my colleagues were so, walipiga makofi. Yule daktari wa fasting amepata TB. Hii ni ukimwi. Healthcare providers are the ones that actually sell the lies. They are the ones who actually sell the fear to patients. I was like, imefika hapo. Sasa hata si TB tena. Ni ile nyingine. Nimekanyaga waya. Forgive and forget and move on. All right. So as I finish this, let me take you through the processed food, the preservatives, and what they do to your gut, so that you understand. So I'll say this: 1, they mess up the gut and they expose you to a leaky gut and autoimmune conditions. Now listen, on autoimmune conditions and on a leaky gut. So on a leaky gut syndrome, we say they destroy the gut microorganisms, they perforate the gut, and they expose stomach content to the immune system. Now you have allergies. And the things that actually mess up the gut and cause a leaky gut, 1 is polysorbate 80. That is a preservative. You remember when you were talking about it, polysorbate 80 or potassium potassium sorbate. Yeah, this is polysorbate 80. We have also another one called carrageenan. CARRAGEENAN. These are things that you actually read on the ingredients. There's carboxymethyl cellulose and there's lecithins. Lecithins are actually in a lot of products. Toothpastes, those nutritional supplements that you give your children, are they called NAN or something? Yes, those plumpy nuts. They have the lecithins and they have soy and they have seed oils. All right. Those substances that alter the gut microorganism or gut microbes. Aspartame. Where did we find aspartame? This one I have to pause and actually review. Where did we find aspartame? I just mentioned aspartame in this live. So let me see who are attentive. Hey, attentive. Hallelujah. Attentive. So where did I mention aspartame? Let's see who are sleeping and who are here concentrating. Aspartame. I said aspartame is somewhere. And it's actually been quoted to say that this is the best one. Aspartame. This is the best product to use. It doesn't have any sugar, but it has aspartame. Which product? Hey, I see there are people on TikTok who are so alert. This is amazing. And if you're on TikTok and you've never visited my YouTube platforms, we have 2 platforms on YouTube that we do a show on. One is the one that I'm doing a live on right now, Health and Wellness Sport. Go there and subscribe on that platform, Health and Wellness Sport. On Friday, we have Identity Fridays happening on a YouTube channel that is called Uncle Chile. You can't miss out on Identity Fridays. Where? Hey, Nanyi, you've sent me a lot of things to react to on Identity Fridays. Welcome on Identity Fridays this coming Friday. It shall be amazing. Oh, tomorrow from 2 p.m. we are starting our 72-hour fast. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. join us on a 72-hour fast that ends on Friday at 2 p.m. That is a fast that happens every month, once in a month, a 72-hour fast. So join in. From tomorrow at 2 p.m. all the way to Friday at 2 p.m. You can't miss out on that. Let's do this. So yes, sodas, soft drinks, diet soda is the most one. The most important one here is the diet soda. Okay, so when they lie to you that diet soda is actually sugar-free, it has aspartame, and aspartame is actually causing your gut mess, destroys the gut microorganisms, causes gut inflammation, and is very toxic to the liver. Drop diet soda. It's not. You don't need soda. There's something called sucralose. There's something called saccharin. Saccharin is actually used in people who have diabetes. This one with another one, and I'll mention it as we go ahead. They are used with people who have diabetes, so that diabetics can enjoy sugar. Achana na hiyo kitu. Haya, preservatives. They kill microorganisms in the gut. They promote oxidative stress to the cells, therefore the cancers and the mutations. And these are the following. 1, we have sodium benzoate. These are present in the processed meat, the sausages. We have potassium sorbate. Again, it's coming here. Potassium sorbate. Very dangerous one. And then we have the nitrites and nitrates. These are the ones that actually make that meat look red, the pink color. You see when you go to the supermarkets to buy meat, you see it's very pink in color. Those are the nitrites and the nitrates that make it look that way. They are highly inflammatory. They are cancer causing. This is the problem with the red meat. It is not the red meat that is the problem. Eat red meat in plenty, make it fatty. The problem is what happened to the red meat from the ground to your mouth. The problem is the processing of the red meat. They process it and then they add in preservatives like nitrites and nitrates and the potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate. And then they add in MSG. And then they blame it on red meat instead of telling you that the processed red meat is a problem. So you drop the red meat, but your breakfast table is still having the sausages. Stay away from that nonsense. Drop bacon, drop sausages, drop smokies, drop canned meats and all that. Go buy meat from the butchery and make your own food. Okay? All right. And then the food colors. There's red 40, there's yellow 5, and there's the blue 1. And then, so these ones, they dysregulate the immune system. So they cause an immune system to overreact, and that's how we end up having what? The autoimmune conditions. So the immune system starts to overreact and target your own tissues. Now we have the flavors. Please mention the flavor that you know. The most important flavorant that you people know. It is present in spices, processed red meat. What else? Hey, it's literally everywhere. Yeah? What about soy? Soy is basically estrogen. So if you're a woman, it will disrupt your estrogen levels, problems with reproductive health. If you're a man, soy makes you feminine. Soy destroys your testosterone. You become more of a woman. You start growing buttocks. You start having this thin voice. You start becoming emotional. So the most important flavors is MSG, monosodium glutamate. It is very, very sensitive. The gut becomes so sensitive to this thing. It destroys gut microorganisms, the normal flora. It is neuroinflammatory. Neuro is nerve, so inflammation of nerves. Therefore, epilepsy and seizures. Therefore, autoimmune conditions also are here. Therefore, dementia, loss of memory. You see that? MSG. Therefore, autism. Problems here. Therefore, mental health problems are coming in, but we don't know, do we? Inflammatory bowel syndrome is part of that. Hey, yeah, let me talk. Let me just bring in conversations. This is crazy. Does formula milk has soy? Just read the ingredients, you'll see it. There's no formula milk. Milk is coming from your breast as a woman. Milk comes from a cow or a goat. Milk does not come from any formula. That formula is not milk. Industries. So we simply give them the milk from Rift Valley. We give them the milk. We allow them to process and ultra-processed milk. Then they bring it back to us as formulas, plus more ingredients without the milk. And then we believe them. And then our children take this and they end up having erectile dysfunction in their teenage, reproductive health issues. Endometriosis is becoming very famous. Infertility is actually on the rise. Low sperm count in men. Men trying to think they are women. The umbrella is now becoming very famous because of the soy products that we're feeding our children. And now the TV markets all these drag queens to them, and our children become so messed up. No wonder the umbrella is very famous. So let's bring in some conversations here. There's a lot of people who have requested to be in, man. And I hope you can actually ask a question relating to this. Okay. What is called Amy Bex. Are you a baker or something? If you're baking, you'll not like this life, trust me. If you're a baker out here, you'll not like this thing. And you see how the food industry actually behaves. You walk into a supermarket, the first thing you see is brighter colors and these processed foods, and then there's a smell that hits you at the doorstep, which is coming from the bakery. Now they've put a bakery just at the doorstep. When you enter the supermarket, is a bakery. Now when it just hits your nose, your brain registers, oh, you know what, you must taste that cake. You must eat that Black Forest. You must eat that piece of bread, it's so fresh. And you start thinking that because it's fresh, it's healthy. When you think it's fresh, it's healthy, that's a problem. That's why they sprinkle water on fruits and vegetables so that you think they are fresh. Fresh is not healthy. Do not confuse the two. Doesn't always mean that fresh is healthy. Now ambia ukweli. Check out those things. In your supermarket, they have sprinkled the fruits with water. Now they look fresh. Aye. This is just straight from the farm in the highlands of Rift Valley. Where? Good. I need help, please. I have prolonged inflammation. If you have prolonged inflammation, I've actually put here videos about inflammation. That is the help you need. If you need more help, you can simply book an appointment and have a conversation. But I've put up videos on inflammation, on gut fix. But you people don't want to do it. You don't want to put in the work. Yes, Petra? Petra? Petra, are you there? Petra is not there. Petra is just run. She ran. Let's try and talk to another person here. A lot of you have requested to be in, but most of you don't want to have this conversation. I don't know why. Because I'm seeing a lot of people here who have requested to be in. Yes. I've already done that. Let me just... I wonder what kids lost their mother at birth will take now. Now, you see, that's a special population. Actually, these things were designed for that. They were designed for those children, the 1% of the population that is a special population. That one is an exception. But women are eating so unhealthy foods. They end up not able to produce breast milk. Some of them don't want to breastfeed, and they go and buy milk formulas and they give it to their children. And then they start wondering why my child is drooling saliva from morning to evening. I come out from work, my child is seated there just picking things from the wall from morning to evening. Why are you wondering? Why are you acting surprised? Doc, is kefir milk good for the diabetic patient? Kefir milk is good for everybody. I really don't like when somebody says, is it good for hypertensive? Is it good for diabetic patient? What are the good diets for diabetics? There's no good diet for diabetics. They're just diets for everybody. They're just foods for everybody. You simply go into it and see how your diabetes disappears. There's no food for diabetics. There's no food for cancers patients. There's no food, nutrition. At Right Me Nutrition notes for cancer patients. A cancer patient is not a unique patient. They're just human beings who actually ended up in that mess. I healed my ulcers through this channel. Advised my friend about his ulcers, but anathema, he's using cayenne pepper. Does it heal? Cayenne pepper does work very well on gastritis and all that. But you see, there's no way you can use cayenne pepper to treat chapati problems. Your friend is binging on chapatis, you're still using seed oils, and then he wants to taste cayenne pepper to actually fix those problems. No way. Not going to happen. So tell your friend, there's no shortcut. Yeah? There's no shortcut. At your, there's this concoction that heals diabetes. Who told you? You will not heal that diabetes. You will walk over, you will take all those fermented fruits. There's this, there's a guy in Muranga that used to give people a 5-liter jerrycan of fermented fruits to actually kill cancer. And then the guy died of cancer. Buana, I'm tired. This guy is out. You see, remember the Loliondo story? This guy gave people a whole 5-liter jerrycan of fermented fruits. They smell like crazy. Now, when you take it, you diarrhea, and it tells you now that is cancer going through the stool. You're diarrheaing cancer cells. Hey, you diarrhea your lungs out. You die from cancer. This guy died from cancer. Like, what is the fermented fruits that you could say? Hey. Hey, the guy was caught feelings in the comment section here. The guy was angry. This controversial doctor. Why are you angry? You need to join Identity Fridays, okay? Join Identity Fridays to actually help you overcome anger and emotions and false identities. Because, yeah, that is a false identity. Imagine you finding a reason to just type something on a comment section, or even finding a reason to argue with somebody in the comment section. Imagine that. Like how bad are you? How bad is your inside that you really need to find validation through just typing something? Ay, validation is shida. Kindly accept our request. I'm accepting requests, but you people are not talking. And I'm like, people are disappearing. So yeah, we've done about 1 hour 47 minutes. We need to call it a night. I'm accepting all these requests, but none of you is coming up. All of you are running. This is the time when I want doctors to come in. And when we want doctors to come in, they still run away. Oh, you wonder, why are you running away? But they will be so active in the comment section on Facebook. They will tell you how I am a biochemist, I am a nurse, I've dealt with cancer patients for long. This is a lie. I'm like, yeah, well, but your platform, you're busy posting challenges. You're busy sharing other people's stories. Where is your story? Oh, who is this playing with Sufurias? Ruth! Ruth, are you flushing your toilet? Aye. You've decided to talk to us when you're in the toilet. Ruth, come on. Come on. Aye. Hey, she's even yawning. Aye, you're in the toilet and you're yawning. Which is which, Ruth? You're competing two senses at the same time. Really? I'm not seeing your request, gentlemen. Who is this? Everybody here is just... I have over 14 requests here, but I'm accepting you guys are running. Others are in the loo. How can we be of help? On YouTube, if you have a question, you can simply put it in the comment section and read it and respond. Now, bring these conversations on Friday. A lot of things need to happen on Friday. Yes, Suzanne. You see? Same things. Bring them in. Nobody's talking. There's the urban vet here. Let's see. The urban vet must have some information about the red meat. Yeah. The urban vet.
Yes.
How are you?
How are you guys?
All is well, brother. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
I joined quite late.
Okay.
But I heard you conversing about cancer.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm a victim of the same because last year, time like this, we lost our mother-in-law.
Okay.
She had colorectal cancer.
Okay.
And I'm actually mourning the death of my father, who had gastric cancer. We lost him last week. He died in the US.
Pole, bro.
We are yet to bury.
Man, pole.
We are yet to bury him. So, I mean, this conversation is real. These things are happening.
Man.
But I think we have light at the end of the tunnel because people are practicing wellness.
Man.
We have guys like you educating us now each and every day.
Yeah.
And it's upon us, man, to try and live a healthy lifestyle, man.
Yeah, bro. Man,
Yes.
pole sana for your loss, and it should serve as a lesson to those of you who are still alive. And I hope because you have this information, you can share it with your family members so that we change the rules. Because you see, most of them are still believing that this cancer is now in our family, so they are believing it's actually in the genes. So they have to unlearn that. Yeah. So open up their heads and make them believe that it's not in the genes, that is in the kitchen and the environment. Once you change that, you're good to go. So I wish you well, man, and may your dad rest in peace, bro.
Thanks so much.
Oh,
I
man.
thought it's important I share that information.
Thanks, man. I appreciate, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, man. You see? Some of these stories are just crazy, man. So you see, when you lose two family members to the same condition, you start believing that it's actually in the genes. But it's not in the genes. It's us. You see, the genes are like the bulb. There's a switch that you must turn on the switch so that the bulb gives you the light. So we focus on the bulb and we fail to focus on the switch. The switch is what we call epigenetics, the dyes, the environment, the smoke, the chemicals. Those are epigenetics, the switch. But the light or the bulb is the genes now, and the light is the disease. So use that concept every time. Epigenetics is the switch, genes are the bulb, light is the condition. So without the switch, there's no way you'll have light. And the switch is where the problem is, the epigenetics. So when you focus so much on the light, you're forgetting that light had to come from somewhere. Somebody had to turn the switch on. What about improved kienyeji? I don't have a problem with improved kienyeji. Simply make sure you're the one who is rearing them. Make sure you're the one who is rearing them. Hey doctor, is it good to eat fully dry coconut fruit? You mean that coconut thing? The white part is okay for me and the water is actually okay. Do not allow them to process it. The nut, is it a fruit? I don't know. That's a new information coming to my desk. I didn't know that brown thing is a fruit. You help me understand that. If that's what you're talking about, then it's okay. But don't allow it to be processed. Because remember, food science and nutrition. That's the only thing you should take away from this life. Food science is what happens from the ground to your mouth. Nutrition is what happens from your mouth to the cells. Yes, Liberty.
Hi, Doc.
Hello, how are you?
The truth is that the generation we have today,
Yes.
we have a lot of issues of indiscipline.
Yes.
We are not disciplined in ourselves in terms of what we ingest, and we really do not want to go into the nitty-gritties of getting to know what goes into what we take in.
Yeah.
So most of us, we are living on the fast lane. And you find today people are even very lazy to even clean and chop their veggies.
Okay.
Anataka tu apitie pale sokoni apate imekatwa tayari apite nayo, which has also its own issues. But I would wish that if we were able to come to a point of going organic, and eating from proceeds from the ground, then I think our lives would be way better.
But I also want you to know this, huh? You see, most of the times, our health institutions and the food industry have actually made us to believe that the problem is ours. Yet they are the same people who process our foods. Like, for example, they process foods. So you will think that you are the problem because they tell you that you are exercising less but eating more. So they tell you you must eat and then exercise. So when you grow fat or obese, they will make you believe that the problem is yours because you're the one who actually ate more but did not exercise more. Yet they're the ones who made their food so addictive. So I understand your point.
They simply create an illusion.
Yeah.
They simply create an illusion that makes us feel that whatever they are presenting to us is right.
True.
But when now you get into the nooks and crooks, you realize these guys are in business.
Yeah, and you are their business.
There is a meme that was going around some time back that was saying, if you're not part of the deal,
yeah,
if you're not benefiting from the deal, then you are the deal yourself. So basically, most of us are the deal for this multi-million companies.
Yeah.
Because they present to you, they tell you that the processed food is good.
Yeah.
They give you the processed meats that has a lot of MSG and a lot of additives.
Yeah.
Yet, on this other end, they want you to make you believe that tallow, which is animal fat, which has been used over all these decades, is bad.
Yeah.
So tallow in itself, it ain't bad, but now they want to make you feel that no, lean meat is what you're supposed to be eating.
Yeah.
And now they go a step further of trying to present to you the processed food, the sausages, and they make you feel that the sausages are good, that you're ni nyama.
But they are crazy.
Yet,
they will tell you
there is a lot of things that they've added.
They will tell you to eat lean meat, but still fry the lean meat in seed oils.
Exactly.
So one step forward, then 3 steps backwards. Anyway, it's a mess out here. And we hope we can actually win this battle. But we can win this battle in our kitchens. We can't win it by hoping.
And it has destroyed the palate of most of us, and more so our children now. You and I, Doc, are able because we grew at a point our palate was not that destroyed. So if we discipline ourselves, we can get back to where we are.
Yeah,
but
we can.
Now the people that have a great problem are our children.
No,
because most of us today have a notion that I went through hard times when I was growing up, and I cannot allow my children to go through the same hard times. So whatever our children ask for, whether it is good for them or not good for them, I see the parents today, most of the time, they offer it to their children. And what happens at the end of the day, it is the lives of the children that are at stake.
And then the same parents start wondering, how did our children end up here? Because nowadays you see a 6-year-old with diabetes and a 5-year-old with H. pylori. And then the same parents who actually, you see children learn by observation and imitation. So they imitate what parents are doing. And then now the same parents are wondering, how did my child get diabetes? And I see them all the time, they're in denial. They come in and tell me, Daktari, we've been eating healthy. For me, we eat so healthy. I'm wondering why my child has diabetes type 1. And I'm telling them, but let's question you from the time you got pregnant up to now. Once you just ask them what they eat, you realize, hey. It's a mess.
At one point, somebody told me that I live a life like somebody who hasn't gone to school.
Why? Unajinyima.
Because basically, I am very keen on what I ingest.
Yeah.
So, like alikuja nikamwambia, if you want to do what you want to do what you want to do. But personally, this is what I've purposed to do in my life. This is the way I want to live. This is the kind of life I live. And they were like, usome hiyo yote, ufanye kazi hiyo yote, upate pesa, and then unaishi ni kama mtu unataka kukula ni kama, and the statement was, unataka kukula ni kama mtu mwenye hukuenda shule.
Imagine that. It's like eating unhealthy has anything to do with schooling.
Now, like, people have the notion that because you've gone to school, you're supposed to eat a lot of processed food. Yet, it's supposed to be the contrary.
But
That
you see,
person who's gone to school should be able to understand the dangers of eating the processed food.
but I understand that because that's what we grew up knowing. We wanted to live the life in the city, and we actually would sell sweet potatoes to just buy bread and apply margarine on the same bread. So our view of what is wealth was actually skewed. So we thought those people who are actually eating bread are the ones who are actually living life. For us who have sweet potatoes here, we're actually suffering. And that's the mindset in the village. Our mothers will sell organic eggs to simply buy bread and pasteurized milk. They will sell our pasteurized milk in the village to simply afford a sausage. So I really get so upset with that. But again, there's nothing you can do because the information will only get to 1% of the people. And this 1% can actually be a changing or a movement to actually save the 90% or the 99% of the people, but for only those who are willing to actually change and do better.
And also, I've seen somebody has commented on the comment section about fasting. And people look at fasting, there are people who look at fasting as suffering.
Punishment.
But they really don't appreciate, they don't understand the importance of fasting in our day-to-day lives, and also the importance of fasting to our health. So you find somebody looking at fasting, and they're like, if you do intermittent fasting or you just do fasting, you program yourself to be fasting periodically, they find it absurd. And the worst bit of it is the wheat products. Wheat, I came to discover that wheat is very inflammatory.
It is, and very addictive.
And I was doing some research, and I realized that the wheat we have today is not the same wheat that used to be there several years ago.
Even in the 70s.
Because the wheat that used to be there several years ago, I'm made to understand, used to be a tall grass.
Yes, about 10 feet.
A very tall one. But the wheat we have today, hardly inafika kwa magoti, and it is ready.
Go to Njoro and see what is happening there.
I know you pass through Narok, it's
crazy.
It's just the wheat fields na unaona ni kama ni nyasi. Yes.
Anyway, thank you for your insights. Because of time, I'll have to drop you and then call it a night because now I have to disappear. Thank you for your insight. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
But continue. We say we continue injecting the information.
Yeah.
Hata kama ni kidogo, somebody will get the information, and in the process kuna mtu mmoja wawili watasaidika, na kama huyo mmoja wawili wanasaidika, then in the long run a whole large population itasaidika.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right, good night. I'm talking last to German Skincare. Is it German Skincare? How are you, German? Is this skincare?
I'm fine. I have a question.
Yes. Thank you, Morphew.
How do you deal with intense hiccups?
But
They keep persisting.
we reserve questions for the Q&A. Unfortunately, we reserve questions for the Q&A sessions. For now, we're just putting up comments on the food industry. There's a lot of things that can actually happen depending on the hiccups and the course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to call it tonight. It's 2 hours. We've done 2 hours. We'll see you again on Monday on Health and Wellness Spot to do another live. And possibly I can talk about agricultural soap. But anyway, we will communicate on what to talk about. It's been an amazing live. 2 hours and 5 minutes of just changing your lives and just pointing you in the direction of light. I hope you've learned something new from this. I've learned a lot from you people. Every day is a learning lesson for me. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your support. If you've not followed us, follow us on this platform, Health and Wellness Spot on TikTok. There's another one called Dr. Lewis Muchilo on TikTok. Follow those two accounts. Subscribe on my channel on YouTube, Health and Wellness Sport. There's another channel on YouTube called Uncle Chile. Go and subscribe and wait for us on Friday at 8:30 Kenyan time. 8:30 p.m. Kenyan time. We'll be here doing Identity Fridays to help you overcome anger, false identities, fear, doubt, and concerns. We will teach you something new about life and spiritual aspect of life. We combine that with the health aspect of life, the physical and the mental, so that you become a whole human being who is so informed. So thank you for being here, sticking around to listen to me. It's been amazing, and I hope that you can actually have a good night, a good morning, or a good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. See you on Friday on Identity Fridays. Good night.